long before civilization and modern comforts. Cavemen faced brutal winters where survival was a daily challenge. The air was cold enough to freeze rivers, and snow buried the forests. Food became scarce, and hunting grew dangerous. Yet, these early humans were resourceful. They used their instincts, tools made from stone and bone, and cooperation to stay alive. In such harsh times, the ability to find and store food wasn't just skill, it was life itself. Every meal was earned through struggle and wisdom. As temperatures dropped, cavemen turned to hunting large animals that could provide both meat and warmth. Mammoths, woolly rhinoceroses, and reindeer were their main targets. These beasts offered thousands of pounds of meat, thick hides for our clothing, and fat for energy. The hunts were risky and required teamwork. Groups of men used spears, traps, and strategy, cornering animals near cliffs or rivers. A single successful hunt meant food for weeks. Failure, however, meant hunger, weakness, and sometimes death. Preserving food was another challenge. Without fireproof containers or modern refrigeration, cavemen relied on nature. The cold itself was their freezer. They buried meat under snow or in caves to keep it from rotting. Animal fat helped seal meat from air. Exposure, creating primitive preservation methods. Some groups even smoked or dried meat over fires when the weather allowed. These techniques ensured that even when hunting failed, there would still be something to eat during the long, silent nights. But meat wasn't their only source of survival. Cavemen also gathered edible plants, nuts, and roots before winter arrived. Women and children collected wild berries, tubers, and seeds during warmer months, storing them in woven baskets or animal skins. These plant foods added important nutrients missing from meat. When snow covered the ground, they sometimes dug through frost to find hidden roots or frozen berries. Every small piece of food mattered, especially when snowstorms trapped them inside caves for days. One of the most important discoveries of early humans was fire. Fire allowed them not only to stay warm, but also to cook food, making it safer and easier to digest. Cooked meat lasted longer and released more energy, helping them survive harsh winters. The flickering flames in the cave gave comfort, light, and protection from predators. Families huddled around the fire, sharing roasted meat and ancient stories. Fire became their friend, their guardian, and their symbol of survival through darkness. Fat-rich foods were especially valuable in freezing conditions. Cavemen learned that animal fat provided more energy than lean meat. They ate marrow from bones, brain tissue, and organ meats, all packed with calories. These were considered precious parts of the animal. Nothing went to waste. Fishing also played a vital role in survival, especially near rivers that didn't completely freeze. Cavemen used sharpened sticks or bone hooks to catch fish like salmon and trout. These fish were a rich source of protein and fat. Sometimes they smoked or dried them to store for later. In icy conditions, they even broke through thin ice layers to reach the water below. The courage to face freezing rivers proved just how determined they were to live another day. In times of extreme hunger, cavemen scavenged leftovers from predators. After wolves or saber-toothed cats finished their meals, humans cautiously approached to collect the remains. This was dangerous work, but sometimes the only option. They also learned to follow animal tracks to find potential hunting opportunities. Nature didn't offer kindness, only chances. Survival required courage, patience, and sharp instincts. A wrong move could mean becoming prey instead of hunter, yet they continued to fight for every scrap of food. Cavemen didn't eat every plant they found. They learned which ones were safe through generations of observation. Some plants caused sickness, while others healed. They chewed on bark and herbs to relieve pain or fight infections. This early knowledge of nature's power laid the foundation for herbal medicine. In winter, when sickness spread easily in cold caves, these plants became life-saving remedies. Even when food was scarce, their understanding of nature's balance kept them alive through wisdom as much as strength. Storage was essential. Cavemen used natural formations, like holes in rocks or deep caves, as food cellars. They covered stored meat with ice or leaves to prevent animals from stealing it. Some tribes hung food high on trees, away from wolves and bears. They even stored fat in animal stomachs, which acted as containers. Every family had to manage their supplies carefully. Overeating meant starvation later. Discipline, cooperation, and planning turned survival into a shared responsibility among the tribe. The harshest months tested their unity. When hunting failed, tribes shared what little they had. Elders and children ate first, protected by the strong. Around the fire, they spoke of courage, ancestors, and the coming of spring. Hope became a powerful weapon against despair. Even when snowstorms howled outside, they believed warmth would return. These moments strengthened their bonds and kept their spirits alive, showing that survival was not only physical, but also emotional and communal. Sometimes, tribes migrated to survive. They followed animal herds southward, chasing warmth and food. This journey was exhausting and dangerous, but necessary. Carrying tools, furs, and children, they crossed frozen rivers and climbed icy mountains. Along the way, they shared knowledge with other groups, new hunting techniques, fire-making skills, and stories. Migration was both survival and evolution. It shaped humanity's instinct to adapt, to move forward, and to never settle where death could find them easily. As centuries passed, cavemen began shaping their environment more intelligently. They built stronger shelters using bones, stones, and hides. They learned to trap animals instead of chasing them endlessly. With each discovery, life became a little less uncertain. They began to understand patterns, when animals migrated, where plants grew, and how to predict weather. Knowledge became as valuable as food itself. The wisdom earned through countless winters would one day lead to farming and permanent settlements. Even though their lives were filled with struggle, cavemen laid the foundation for human survival. Their diet, rich in meat, fat, and seasonal plants, taught future generations how to live with nature's rhythm. Every winter they survived was proof of human resilience. Their courage in the face of hunger, frost, and danger shaped the human spirit. Through trial and adaptation, they turned survival into progress, leaving behind lessons written not in words, but in the instincts we still carry today. So when we think about cavemen surviving freezing winters, we should see more than just hunters. They were inventors, thinkers, and survivors who turned the wild into their teacher. Their food was simple but full of meaning, each bite a victory against nature's cruelty. From mammoth meat to roasted fish, from frozen roots to shared fires, their meals told stories of endurance. Without their strength and wisdom, humanity might have vanished in the cold. Instead, they endured and began civilization's first chapter.